Excuse me. All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the NFC South with a dazzling record of 8-9, as this division came down to the final week of the season, as everybody else in that division finished with a record of 7-10. And here in 2023, it looks like we're about to get more of the same. And I say that because following yesterday's action, there is a three-way tie atop the NFC South as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and Atlanta Falcons are all sporting records of 6-7. The Saints were able to take care of their business yesterday against the lowly Carolina Panthers, while the Bucs won a thriller on the road over the Falcons. And as all three teams are currently tied at 6-7, the tiebreaker currently goes to Tampa Bay. But somebody's got to win this NFC South. And with 4 weeks to go in this season, who has the inside track? You look at it, it's very interesting because for Atlanta, three out of their last four are on the road, and the Falcons have not been a good road team this season. They're at Carolina on Sunday. That is a must win, being that the Panthers have only won one game so far this season. You've got to take care of your business against Carolina if you're Atlanta. Their final home game of the season is next weekend against the Indianapolis Colts. They're then at Chicago, and of course, it's going to be cold in Soldier Field. And then on top of that, the Bears have been playing some better football as of late. And then the Falcons finish up at New Orleans, as that game possibly could decide this division winner. For the Saints, they host the New York Giants this Sunday. They're at the Los Angeles Rams, an improving Rams team that is right in the mix for a playoff spot themselves in the NFC. They're at the Bucks, and then they're home for the Falcons. So those last two games for the Saints are going to go a long way in determining the division winner. And finally, the Bucks, they've got a tough one this Sunday. They're at Green Bay, and of course, when you think about the Bucks, you think about the fact that they are not a good cold weather team historically. They then host the Jacksonville Jaguars. They host the Saints, and then they finish up at Carolina. So again, like it is for Atlanta this Sunday, that final game of the season is a must-win for the Bucks. But for their sake, they want to make sure that that game is going to mean something, that they're going to have something to play for. So I'm looking at it like this from several scenarios. 8-9 got this division last year, and I think at this rate, 8 wins might do it again because I don't see any of these teams with the ability to win three out of their last four in order to win this division and get to the postseason. Like I said, Atlanta has their work cut out for them because they've got three out of the last four on the road. The New Orleans Saints, we really don't know what we're going to get from this team. I picked the Saints coming into this season to win this division, and I picked them to win it going away because I felt that Derek Carr was the missing piece for this team. But the Saints have been so inconsistent, and they have been such a big head scratcher as far as their ineffectiveness at times this season. And this is a big reason why they're 6-7. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You normally, don't say this about a team that has a losing record, but you know what? Credit to Todd Bowles for keeping the ship righted because after last season, this was expected to be a complete rebuild for the Buccaneers. And for them at this point to say, you know what, we're 6-7 and we have an opportunity to win the division, I think that is tremendous for the way that this team has played all season long. And in the case of Tampa Bay, they have lost some nail biters throughout this year, but nonetheless, they're right there in the mix to win this division. I think this division is going to come down to the quarterbacks because obviously at 6-7, all of these teams are flawed. They've been up and down. Their quarterback play has been very inconsistent, and it's going to come down to which quarterback can find a way to uplift his team. Which quarterback can go out there and limit his mistakes? Is it going to be Desmond Ritter with Atlanta, the veteran Derek Carr with New Orleans, or Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay. Like I said before, both the Falcons and Bucks, they still each have a game remaining with Carolina. You got to go out there and take care of your business. For both the Saints and Bucks, three out of their last four games are against teams that are currently in the mix for a postseason spot. And then in the case of Tampa Bay, they've got to take on a division winner from last year in the Jacksonville Jaguars. And of course, Jacksonville, they're currently leading the AFC South and they're fighting for playoff seeding as well. So nothing is going to be given easy in this one. Normally, I would say, at this point, who has the edge and who do I think is going to win? Honestly, this is a classic toss up, or in the betting world, a classic pick 'em because all three of these teams are flawed teams. We don't know this division right here. The outlook is going to change from week to week as this season progresses. I really do think that Atlanta New Orleans contest in week number 18 is going to go a long way in determining the winner. And of course, how fitting would it be because the Saints and Falcons have been bitter rivals, and this rivalry dates back more than 50 years between these two clubs. So I'm looking at that contest right there. I'm also looking at Tampa hosting New Orleans in week number 17. So at the end of the day, again, like I said, whichever quarterback can find a way to take care of his business over these last four games, that's the team that's going to win. Whoever wins the turnover battle as far as their offense, not or limiting rather their amount of turnovers, I think that is going to go a very long way. This is a classic toss up. I know that the NFC South has not been strong. It's a very mediocre division this year. It's been like that for the last several years, but nonetheless, somebody has to win it. Somebody's going to get a home playoff game, and these next 4 weeks are going to obviously determine who that team is. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.